see. Who saw Black Panther? The two people who didn't whoop, I want to talk to you and find out why.
This doesn't seem like a natural fit, probably, to most people for Lexus. But it actually turns out our audiences are really well aligned, and we both skew a little bit male. We both strongly over-index for multicultural audiences. High average household income, very important when you're trying to sell luxury products. And then avid shoppers, early adopters of new technology. They're always connected. They're audio enthusiasts, and they are influencers of other people. So Marvel's audience is
Yeah,
Lexus
I mean, and
audience.
I would say to now, especially between Black Panther and Captain Marvel, our audience is probably a little more evenly split. But at the time, MJ's right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had been doing a little bit of business on the ABC Disney side of the house, so we certainly knew the folks at Lexus. And when we were approaching them, in this movie in particular, the one thing we wanted to be mindful of is we knew we had a special film. We didn't want to necessarily beat people over the head or the tambourine. You know, it needed its due and feeling big and bold and broad. And so for us at Marvel, authenticity at its core, always. Another mantra we have is reflect the world outside your window. So knowing that those are two guiding principles for us, we wanted to be really careful about who we were going to from a partnership perspective. So we definitely looked at this alignment and knew that Lexus was already playing, in an organic way from a multicultural standpoint.
I mean, every single one of us involved in the project geeked out over and over when we actually saw the film, and we said, that's us, and that's us. And I'm not just talking about the placement of the actual product, it's about the philosophy and just the ethos of the world of Wakanda that really matched so beautifully with the world of Lexus.
Placement definitely took a unique position in this film. But what I would say is really it's the partnership that we started 2 years out?
Yes.
Truly building this out 2 years out.
Yeah.
And I would give major props before MJ dives through some of the strategy and planning, and she says luck. I would say no, it was unbelievable planning. I give you guys mad props because 2 years out, you not only saw the opportunity of all the various things you could do over the course of working with Marvel and connecting with our brands who are highly engaged, 9 times more likely to buy a product that has ties to Marvel, which is pretty crazy. But you also knew that it was important to establish a connection leading up to the film. So by the time the film came out, Lexus was already there. They were the smartest people in the room because everybody saw it was connected to Black Panther. They knew what it stood for. You already had that relationship, and not just from the comics in the 90s that we didn't know about.
That's right. Most co-promotional agreements between a brand and a film generally kind of start and end inside of a 5 or 6 week period. So what you see here is really that bringing that vision to life, where we lengthen the sort of time period to where we could connect ourselves to the film and also seed the message with core audiences. Obviously, Comic-Con draws a huge Marvel fan. You see Chadwick there in that image. He showed up. Marvel showed up for us every time. Just next to the Comic-Con icon there is a big poster that makes up 6 unique covers for the graphic novel that you all had on your seats this morning. We worked with West Coast Customs to do an amazing Black Panther-inspired version of the LC, which is really badass. Yeah.
It was sick.
And
Ryan Coogler, when they saw that car, they were like, what?
We also had a special edition version of the LC in this unique blue color that we actually debuted along with both the car you see with the scratches there we had as well, and the inspired version. The PR wave really worked for us in those early days and really was essential. We went to Fashion Week right before the film was coming out, and by then the buzz on the film was really high.
We worked the entire way to look at what we were doing from a studio perspective and what was important for you. I continually asked her, what does a win look like for you? Here is what we have going on. What makes sense for you to take advantage of? And of course, we wanted to be authentic. And so Fashion Week was what was a natural thing to start broadening it.
Engaging key audiences, showing up, making this real, connecting ourselves to it, bringing it to life, telling that story for all of the audiences.
Along the way, we started poking you guys and saying, we truly believe that a Super Bowl spot, you guys should take a look at that. And I remember the moment when we went with Walton Isaacson, who had some amazing concepts to bring to life. And we came and met with you, and Cooper looked at us and said, did they think we weren't going to do this? So.
We actually were launching our next flagship. So we had the LC 500 Coupe, which was our premium coupe flagship that we were launching right before this. And then we had the LS. The timing just couldn't have been better. We did a custom study with ComScore. They measured at $28 million in earned media value. It was actually much higher than that. Marvel used our scene in their press efforts because they didn't want to reveal too much of the world of Wakanda. They wanted you to come to the movie to see that.
That's a secret sauce about Marvel. Our fans want more, and so kudos to you guys because you did a custom spot.
Yeah.
And so when it's something new and something fresh,
Yeah.
that's when fans want to engage.
Our goal was to add excitement to the brand, and then, of course, to launch this new flagship sedan. The awareness, broke all levels.
And it was great for Marvel too, by the way. I mean, the film was definitely, we knew it had something special. Socially, it was taking off, but with the drop of the partnership materials, specifically the Super Bowl spot, we noticed, social listening, all the scores started lifting.
People basically saying, like, they got me. I never thought I'd be swayed by a partnership with an automotive brand, but it made them want a Lexus, and we were all too happy to accommodate. I spent the first, year and a half trying to convince everybody this was a good idea. I've spent the year since the movie came out trying to convince everybody that I can't do this every time. Like, Black Panther is a unicorn.
It shouldn't always just be about the placement. It really is about the lead up. So by the time people got to the theater, there was already an emotional connection. And I think honestly, it made it even that much more special. So you made it a workhorse. There's always a moment in time, and I remember telling Aaron this, you're gonna hit a speed bump in the road. They're focusing on the car, I'm focusing on what will hopefully be a billion-dollar movie, knock on wood it did. And so there are some, sometimes you have those moments, but the magic really occurs when you do acknowledge that and you find a way in a partnership to move forward.
Had we really not been deeply ingrained with the core audience prior to taking this leap, I think that it would have gone a little bit differently for us. Because it got so much engagement. I think it was the most tweeted movie of all time, at least at the time on Twitter. This is a super engaged fan. They've been waiting for this character since the 60s. And so for Lexus to have already been actively engaging with this community before the film rolled around turned out to be really more important than I realized. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
I hope it was good for you.